Good morning, everybody. We have a full turnout of councillors, so quite often we have a lot of councillors because there is a fairly high attrition rate with it being a Friday morning. But this morning we've reached a record, so thank you all for coming. It's a shame it's a small agenda, but maybe we can sort of push the officers to get a fuller agenda next time, but I know their workload's pretty massive. Whether David wants to just have a quick word about the workload before we start, and then we know what's going on.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've got officers have an awful long backlog of cases. We're working through them as quickly and as expediently as we can. We've divided cases up between ourselves, and we're taking those now individually, and we hope to progress those as quickly as we can.
That's good. It's good to know that your eyes firmly on the ball. Right, so we'll start the meeting. It's Friday the 19th of April, and Countryside Rights of Way panel. We'll start, please, with apologies.
Thank you, Chair. No apologies received.
Thank you. As I said, full attendance. And second item, have we got any interests by members in the one item we've got? No? Okay, thank you. And the last minutes we had Jack, David, Paul, Carolyn and myself. So those that attended, are you happy with the minutes? Brilliant, thank you so much. I'll just sign those. Thank you. And we'll move on to the main item of the day, which is Wildlife and Countryside Act 1981, an application to upgrade public footpath 10 Waterhouses Parish to a restricted byway. And I understand Becky's taking this.
I am. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members. So this application is for the upgrade of public footpath number 10, Waterhouses Parish, to a restricted byway. The line of the route can be found at Appendix B. I can confirm that we have received no objections or representation from the local member. The recommendation from your officers is that the evidence submitted by the applicant and that discovered by the County Council at Appendix A is sufficient to show that a right-of-way with the status of restricted byway marked A to B on the plan attached to Appendix B of this report subsists. We recommend that an order should be made to upgrade the right-of-way shown marked A to B on the plan at Appendix B to a restricted byway on the definitive map and statement of public rights-of-way for the district of Staffordshire Moorlands. This application is based on historical evidence, and the applicant submitted a selection of historical documents to support their claim. Firstly, a copy of a Quarter Sessions order dated the 1st of May 1823 was provided. This document refers to the stopping up and diverting of part of a highway known as Rood's Lane, which is now Footpath 10 Waterhouses. The accompanying map appears to show the northern section of the alleged restricted byway marked C to D. Quarter Session orders, as members of the panel will know, are court orders. The Justices of the Peace held sessions 4 times a year, and various matters were heard, including issues relating to highway diversions and closures. The orders indicate the public nature of the way and its statutes, and can be overturned by another order or an Act of Parliament. Post 1773, these orders could also widen, divert and extinguish routes. A diversion only took effect when the new route had been laid out and certified by the Justices. If the diverted route was not laid out and approved, the old route may still exist. In some instances, there may be no certificate of completion and other evidence may be needed to support the route's existence. As we know a route already exists, A certificate of completion is not needed in this instance to indicate the public status of the route. The Quarter Session Order provided clearly states that Reverend Bernard Port agreed to part of the route being stopped up and diverted through his lands. We'll move on now to the tithe maps, which can be found at appendices D, E and F. Members will know that tithe maps and their accompanying apportionments, or books of reference, were produced solely for the purpose of identifying tithable land and were not concerned with recording or establishing public rights of way. All three maps show the route following the same line and show it as having the same distinctive curve at the northern end of the route. All three of the maps show the route coloured brown. At the time this route was recorded, the brown colouring may have indicated it was used as a highway. However, this is not conclusive. As always with tithe maps, there are no features depicted on the map to discern the nature of the rights over the route. However, on inspection of the Mayfield-Coulton Township Tithe Map Index, it refers to plot 24 as being between roads. However, there is no other evidence pointing to the status of the route, and it is not mentioned in any other entries for the surrounding plot numbers. The applicant also provided an OS map dated 1978. As members know, Ordnance Survey maps provide excellent evidence of the physical existence of the features they show at the time of the survey, but they are silent on matters of status. From the 1880s onwards, the maps included a disclaimer to the effect that the depiction of any path, track or way is not evidence of the existence of any public rights of way. The applicant has provided an extract from the Ordnance Survey map for the area of Dovedale and Tissington, and as I mentioned is dated 1978. They have also provided the key which accompanies the map. The physical existence of the route is not in question, as we know there is a footpath already, and we can clearly see the route marked on the map as a dashed green line. The key states that this indicates the route is a road used as a public path, or a RUP. The applicant also provided a map from the National Library of Scotland, dated 1881. This map, which is a type of OS map, shows the alleged restricted byway coloured brown and is annotated with the number 20. As there was no book of reference provided, your officers contacted the National Library of Scotland to request a copy of any index or reference book they may have. A reply was received stating that no book of reference or index is stored there. The applicant also provided a copy of Staffordshire County Council's Survey of Rights of Way statement with accompanying draft map dated the 27th of November 1954. The survey refers to the accompanying draft map dated the 27th of November 1954. The survey refers to public footpath number 10. The type of path is noted as RP, road used as a public path. On the accompanying draft map, the alleged route is depicted following the same path as it is today and is numbered 10. It is also annotated with CRB, which is carriage road used as a bridleway. The applicant also provided a copy of Staffs County Council's Survey of Rights of Way statement for the 7th of April 1952. This also refers to footpath 10 as a RUP. The surveyor notes detail the route as being seldom used metal road, now grassed over, not used for vehicular traffic. It is also noted that the route had been used by the public for a number of years. It does not state that the route was for anything other than a public footpath. There is no reference to the route being used as a bridleway, and it clearly states that it is not used by vehicular traffic. The applicant contacted your officer and provided some additional evidence which had not been discovered since the application had been accepted. This included an extract from the 1910 Finance Act plan, 3 Bartholomew maps and a Greenwood map. Members will know the Finance Act 1910 was created for the purpose of mapping lands through the United Kingdom for the purpose of taxation. The Finance Act materials consist of 3 documents: the Field Book, the Valuation Book and the Increment Value Duty Plan. In this instance, the applicant has only provided the extract of the plan. No copy of the field book or valuation book was provided. However, the extract clearly shows all but the northern tip of the alleged route, which is shown marked white or uncoloured and unnumbered. The fact that the alleged route is marked as white, uncoloured and unnumbered shows that the route was unvalued. This means it was not part of the surrounding land holdings. This could suggest that the alleged route was not recorded as being owned by the local authority or government department, and that it could have belonged to the local highway authority. Moving on to the Bartholomew maps provided by the applicant, they show the alleged route clearly on all three versions. These maps were created with the public in mind and detailed public footpaths and cycle routes. The 1902 map shows the alleged route marked white, with red dots running along the length. On inspection of the corresponding key, we can see that the route is marked down as indifferent or passable. In the 1924 map depicts the alleged route much in the same way as the 1902 map, with white and red spots. The corresponding key confirms that the route is indifferent, however it does note the route is passable for cyclists. The 1941 map depicts the alleged route in the same way as the previous maps, however when looking at the corresponding key the route is marked as a good secondary road. This could indicate that the route was known to have higher rights than a footpath or bridleway. Lastly, the applicant provided an extract from the Greenwood map, dated 1828. The alleged route is depicted as not following the exact same path as on later maps. However, on inspection, you can clearly see the same markers indicating that this is the same as the claimed route. No key was provided, so it is not clear what the rights over the route were. However, when looking at the map as a whole, you can clearly see that the alleged route is depicted in the same way as the other routes. Ordinarily, maps created at this time did not tend to depict anything other than the routes that the public could use. As the alleged route is shown in the same way as all surrounding routes, it is possible that the route had the same right, and this could indicate that the route has higher rights than that of a footpath or bridleway. When the application was initially received, relevant landowners were contacted, but no responses were received. And since the report has been circulated to all interested parties, no comments have been received from them either. So to summarise, the application is made under section 53(2) of the 1981 Act, relying on the occurrence of the event specified in 53(3)(c)(ii) of the Act. The evidence provided by the applicant certainly proves that the right-of-way exists. However, we must remember that the existence of a route is not in question. We know that public footpath 10, Waterhouses, exists. The Quarter Sessions Order, or Stopping Up Order, is excellent evidence that the route exists and is referred to as a highway. The Finance Act Plan extract is also excellent evidence that the route exists, and it is possible the route has higher rights than that of a footpath or bridleway. The route is depicted in the same way as all of the surrounding routes. It is coloured white and is not part of the surrounding land holdings. There is no evidence to suggest that the route was owned by the local authority or government. This suggests that the route was owned by the highway authority. The tithe maps show the existence of a route. However, it is not possible to discern the rights over the route, as the tithe map did not give the status of the route. The OS maps do show the physical existence of the route. However, they do not provide supporting evidence as to the status of the route. The Bartholomew maps prove the existence of the route, and the corresponding key provides some good evidence as to the status of the route at that time. However, these alone are not conclusive proof of the status of the route. The Greenwood map, much like the tithes, showed the physical existence of the route, and it does not provide any clarification on the status of the route. So to conclude, when the totality of the evidence is considered, it is your officer's opinion that the evidence does show, on the balance of probabilities, that a public right-of-way with the status of restricted byway, which is not shown on the definitive map and statement, subsists. And it is the opinion of your officers that the County Council should make a modification order to upgrade public footpath 10 Waterhouses to a restricted byway on the definitive map and statement of public rights-of-way. Thank you. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Becky. I think the depth of evidence that you've considered does give good reason for the fact that it takes so long to get through the process. But a very comprehensive report. Thank you, David.
Chairman, on the strength of the evidence that we've heard, I think that we should approve the officer's recommendation, and I move accordingly.
Paul?
Strength of the evidence, I mean, we've got the Finance Act, the Tithe Acts, Quarter Sessions Acts. We know it's a highway because they basically tell it is. Balance of probabilities, that the highway definition is wrong. And on balance of probabilities, I go with David, and I will second this and say that it should be upgraded now to a restricted byway.
Does anyone else want to comment? No? Okay. So we've got a proposer and a seconder that we accept the officer's recommendation. All those in favour? Thank you. Becky, thank you so much. David, thank you.
Thank you.
I understand we've got no exclusions of the public, so we'll close the meeting at... Sorry, David.
Could I just ask whether we've got any officer-delegated decisions that have taken place since our last meeting?
Of course you can ask it. Whether we've got an answer?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Not that I'm aware of, no.
Could I ask officers, if they are delegated, it becomes part of the papers, so we're updated on them at every meeting? Is that possible, please?
Yes, of course, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I would actually go a stage further and put it down as an agenda item, please, on each meeting, and then we know for definite. Okay, so thank you all very much. It's 10:20 nearly, and have a safe journey home. Thank you.